Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time. This time on the Kindness Project, international listeners, merch, and we have part 2 of their interview with Kuldip Bajwa from the London Community Credit Union. Welcome to the Kindness Project. I'm joined by the Media Studies GCSE Supremo herself, Charlotte J. Allen Barry Dames.
Mr. Steve, what are you doing?
Sorry, Beryl Dames.
And I'm joined by the man who hits the gym and joins in on facials. It's Chris.
I'll tell you what, facials in the future. I love a good facial. So we got the facial equipment out the other day, didn't we? And it was
It's just creamy stuff.
cream. What facial cream did you go for?
It was a peel-off one, so it dries, and you're just going to peel it all off. Oh, I love them.
Yeah. How did your skin feel today?
Well, you want to stroke my face?
I'll have a little stroke of your face. We were doing that this morning, wasn't we? I was pretending your face was as smooth as sandpaper. But yeah, no, you can't beat a facial. So I know you're quite into your media studies at the minute. How's it going?
Yeah, it's good. We're doing sitcoms, so...
Sitcoms?
Yeah.
Is that education? Is that school? Sitting there and watching sitcoms?
You have to sit there and watch it and then dissect it, which means that school is educating me about media, which means it's ruining me. Every time I watch a TV show now, I have to sit and dissect
it. Gotcha. And what sitcom are you watching at the minute?
I think we just finished The IT Crowd.
Okay.
And we're moving on to Friends.
Friends. So you are spending your time at school watching sitcoms.
Yeah, but it's the same episode over and over and over and over again.
What a torture. You're watching telly at school.
But it's a good episode. The IT one we were watching is called The Final Countdown.
Okay.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I like the IT Crowd. I really do like the IT Crowd. Can I just tell you about some stuff that happened to me this week that's Kindness Project related?
Yes.
So a couple of things that happened to me, to us on the Kindness Project podcast. We've actually got our merch page actually sorted. You can get your...
selling anything?
No, that's not the point. We've got it sorted. We'll expect the tens of ones of orders to come in soon enough, but I have ordered us a couple of Kindness Project garments.
Did you get me a hoodie?
I got you a T-shirt, and I got... Why? Why did you want a hoodie?
Because they're warm and comfortable.
Oh, right, okay. I got you a T-shirt, and I got myself a Kindness Project polo shirt.
Nice.
So watch out on Facebook Live when we get our own Kindness Project merch.
That's going to be fun.
I
just wear it on my days off.
On your days off of the Kindness Project or school?
School.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough. We need to wear it for the next Facebook Live podcast.
Well, if it comes by then.
Yeah, maybe. So the other one was we are doing Facebook Live podcasts now, and we had an interesting thing. So I don't know if you remember me saying the last Facebook Live we had, I got stopped walking outside of my office by a lady who said, I was watching you in bed, which was a bit weird.
She was watching us in bed, don't get so flattered.
Okay, she was watching both of us on Facebook Live in bed. But I also we've now got an international Facebook Live audience, right? Because last time
this is funny.
we had a viewer, and I can't find him now, from Libya. Oh no, you know what? I can't find his stuff. Some comments have been filtered out. I want to see all of them. Most relevant. All comments.
That was funny though.
All comments. Here we go. So this guy, his first comment in Arabic was, "Why don't you speak in Arabic a little?" I don't know any Arabic. Do you?
Sorry, man from Arabia or whatever. Wherever
Well, I don't think he's actually from Arabia, but I think his expectation was that we were going to speak Arabic. We have now got comments in Russia. We have got viewers in Russia as well. So thanks for Russ pointing that out. But this guy, thinks that we should do the Kindness Project in Arabic. How's your Arabic? Is it?
Arabic?
Yeah.
I don't know any Arabic.
Are you any good at Arabic?
We can get a translator. Or maybe some subtitles.
An Arabian translator, that's what we need, isn't it?
Subtitles
Subtitles, how would that work?
I don't know.
If you email in Man from Arabia, Arabia isn't even a country, I don't know what we're saying. He was from Libya. But he was also Google Translate or Facebook Translate failed on us because there was a couple of comments when I pressed the translate button just said boo boo shabadoo, and I don't know what that was meant to mean.
Maybe it was slang.
So maybe it was slang. Boo boo shabadoo. I am now curious to what boo boo shabadoo actually means.
Well, Arabic man can tell you if he ever gets
Please, Arabic man. I don't know your actual name because it was in Arabic, so I'm really gonna struggle. Maybe his name is Boo Boo Shabadoo. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it is. Anyway, Arabic man, thank you for listening to our English podcast. I can't help you with the Arabian subtitles at this point in time, but please let us know what your name is. For now, my friend, you are Mr. Boo Boo Shabadoo the Third. Or the second. What do you think?
Maybe you're the last.
Mate, bit depressing.
Alright, question of the podcast.
Boo Boo Shabadoo sitting at home going, I wish to have a family, and Charlotte's just jinxed it. I want to create Boo Boo Shabadoo the Fourth, and all you've done is
could create Boo Boo Shababoo instead.
Boo Boo Shabba Baby. Maybe. Boo Boo Shabba Baby, maybe. Anyway, question of the podcast. Today's question of the podcast is, if you had £1 million, but you could only spend it on helping other people, what would you spend it on?
No!
What do you mean no? That's a great question.
Oh, I'm just going to take off it and stick it in a pension.
You're going to take £500,000 and stick it in a pension. You know what? There's so much wrong with that. First of all, you're not allowed to put £500,000 in a pension.
Why not?
This is the kind of... I've just done my day job. I want to talk about good people doing good stuff in the world, not pensions. I've been doing that all day.
I'll take off
Christ.
in a decent old people's home.
You're going to pay for my long-term care with your £1 million.
Yep.
Okay, so I think we might have some sensible, more sensible answers from our listeners. Kelly
I'll take
wants.
you out for some drinks.
Right, Kelly wants some drinks out of your £1 million.
Stick you in.
And you're going to stick me in. 41. You're going to stick me in an old people's home. Is that the way it's going to work?
I'll put it in a bank, and then because of the way interest works and stuff like that, I'll have more than £1 million.
You would. And then you'd still use it to put me in an old people's home.
When the time is right.
What, 42?
No. 50.
I'm still in the prime of my life at 50. What are you talking about?
Well, you never know. They could put you on that show.
You would have put me in an old people's home at 50, genuinely.
They could put you on that show, old people's home for 4-year-olds.
I'm more like the 4-year-old than the old person, though. Right.
We'll put you in a nursery then.
So, look. Genuinely, we're not going to get a sensible answer with us two, clearly. No. So let's ask our listeners, and they can get in touch with us in the following ways.
Twitter, how is it? It's magical. @HonorKindness. What's the other one? You go into Facebook and there's a magical search bar thingy, and you just search the Kindness Project, and then we have an email, I think. Honor@thekindnessproject.co.uk, and then other than an email, what do we have other than email?
Email, we've got Twitter, we've got Facebook. MySpace, you want to do MySpace?
No, I haven't got
Friends Reunited, are we on that?
Well, we haven't got any friends to reunite with.
Oh, that's quite sad. Okay, well, maybe later. Maybe later. Somebody love us. You know what?
I love you, mate.
You know what I was talking about today? Genuinely, we're doing a thing in the office at the minute where we're not forcing anybody, but we're doing a thing where everybody in our business is doing a personality test, including me, right? And have I told you this?
Is it the animal
before?
one?
Yeah. Every person in the business has got like an animal. And my animal was a dolphin, and basically my motto is, please love me. How desperate does that sound? Because I'm just basically a massive show-off. What were you? Because you did the personality test. What does that mean? Yeah.
I think it was something along the lines of overly caring and affectionate.
Oh, you are. You're a lovely woman. Anyway, shall we get on with the show?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Welcome to one of my favourite parts of the podcast, Charlotte. Would you like to do the jingle?
What we're doing again?
No. You've lost your chance to do the jingle now. I'm doing the jingle.
Do the jingle.
Kindness news. What edition?
Valentine's edition.
Right. You do realise that we're recording this in March now?
Yes, I do, but I picked all these out before it was March.
Okay. So belated Valentine's edition.
Belated Valentine's edition.
That's fine. What's your first belated Valentine's story?
Traveller spreads 1,000 acts of kindness for Valentine's Day.
Okay.
In what was called 1,000 acts of kindness experience,
How many acts of kindness?
27. HMS hosts wanted travellers to pay it forward by performing random acts of kindness for other travellers. In today's world, we can all benefit from some positivity. HMS hosts to set out to create memorable occasions.
What is HMS host? Is it a man? Is it an organisation? Is it a...
See, when I first read this,
yeah,
I assumed it was
a bloke,
an airport association or something, because a lot of the pictures look like they're taken in an airport.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But it says travellers and there's pictures of airports and I'm rolling with it.
Okay. Airport travellers. Do you know what country?
No.
Where's the article from?
Travel Pulse.
Travel. Okay.
No, it's the US edition of Travel.
Oh, US of A. Good old US of A. Go on then.
All right.
So, 1,000 acts of kindness in what we assume is an airport, but could be a bloke.
No, it's got a vice president, so it must be a vice president of marketing and communications.
Right, okay. So it's definitely an organisation. We're just not sure what organisation it is.
Google it.
Google it.
Okay,
why have we not Googled it? Is that a news article? Why are we not Googling it?
I asked me to find 20 news articles in one day, so I was.
You were a bit busy. Okay, fine. So HMS Pulse. Who's the vice president of HMS Pulse? Is it Mr. Pulse?
He's the vice president of marketing and communications. I'm not going to say the name because I butcher it.
Well,
Google it.
Google.
Atousa.
Atusa.
Gorici.
Atusa Gorici. Great name. This organisation gave away 1,000...
Okay. As the name implies, the goal was to spread 1,000 acts of kindness in airports through Share Your Love events in select terminals. Participating in the programme, travellers picked up an act of kindness card that gave them their kindness mission. The mission could be anything like giving a rose or eye mask to a fellow traveller or an airport employee, having a meal with a fellow traveller, gifting a box of chocolates to a flight crew, or buying a coffee for the person behind them.
Love that idea.
HMS hosts providing travellers with the items noted on the kindness mission card, allowing travellers to focus entirely on spreading kindness.
So, whatever the thing was, like give a flower to somebody else, they actually supplied the flower.
Okay. The Share Your Love events took place at Charlotte Douglas International Airport, Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston.
Okay. How about the airport? Or was it just the airport?
It was just the airport.
Okay.
Hartsfield. Okay. I'm butchering.
A lot of airports it happened in.
Okay, I think there's at least a good 5.
Good 5 airports? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so it happened in at least 5 airports.
At least 5 airports.
And there was 1,000 acts of kindness in each airport, or was there more than that?
No, it doesn't specify.
Okay.
And it looks like my next story is
Valentine's related.
Unavailable due to legal reasons now.
God! So you've picked 2 Valentine's kindness news Oh, you got 3.
So
We're just hoping that, number 1, this one's really well researched, and number 2, it's available for legal reasons. Is it? Let's jump over the...
what was wrong with the Rotary Club of Hamilton celebrating Valentine's Day?
I don't know. Maybe they only pretended. Maybe it was fake news.
Fake news.
Maybe it was fake news. How about the 3rd one? Is it available for legal reasons? Is it available for legal reasons?
It's available, I've got it.
Okay.
The Cleveland Metropolitan School District. 1, 2, 3, 4. School District Campus International K-8 School are spreading love and kindness one item of warming clothing at a time.
Okay.
The Wall of Love, located at 2160 Payne Avenue. That's a weird place for a love thing. Payne Avenue. On the grounds of Cleveland State University, is in partnership with Cleveland resident Holly Jackson, who began the project after falling on hard times. Since November, has put up about 300 dozen walls in Cleveland area, including some that have been restocked. On the wall are Ziploc bags with hats, scarves, gloves and socks, all along with tarps that the homeless can use to take.
So there's a Ziplocked bag on a wall that the homeless can take off the wall, and it contains gloves, hats, scarves and what?
Hats, scarves, gloves, socks. And tarps.
Love it. That's great. And she did that for Valentine's Day, did she?
Yep. The project aligns with the school's model on making a difference in the world. The Wall of Love is filtered across grade levels, with some teachers incorporating a clothing drive in their classroom.
Love it.
Yep.
That is a great little Valentine's thing for schools to do. Help the homeless. We like that, don't we? Thank you. So 1 was decently researched and decently read. 1 was a bit shambolic, and the other one is unavailable for legal reasons. Well done, Charlotte. Should we move on to the next part of the podcast? So, we've got the second part of the interview with Kuldip this week. Yes. Kuldip works for an organisation that helps people with loans so that they can live their lives, but at better rates than just conventional loans. So it's an organisation that helps people in need with money. So Kuldip talks a little bit more about that, and he answers some of the questions of the podcast. Would you like to listen?
Yeah.
Is there any sort of government legislation that defines credit unions' interest rates? Is there legislation that...
The interest rates for credit unions are capped. I think the most you can charge is something like 46.
Okay.
2%. It works out at 3% per month.
3%. Oh, right. Okay. Okay. And then people save their money with you too. Why do they tend to do that? Is it because they're part of the community, or is it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, for many, we're the first time they've been able to save, because when people open an account, we try and ask for a commitment to save monthly.
Okay.
Even if it's just...
Is that a precondition of the account?
It's a precondition to open an account with £10 for the first year and
okay.
keep that as a deposit in your savings.
Yeah.
We don't make it a precondition because we realise sometimes people just can't afford to put anything away.
Yeah.
But for example,
you don't want to make it a barrier, right? That's the thing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
But if we made a loan, we might make it a precondition that as well as repaying the loan, they put a little bit into savings.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So once the loan's paid off, they've actually got a nice little...
Do you find that people also use your services in addition to, just if they had a lump sum of money that they wanted to save? Does that typically happen or not?
It does, yes. A lot of people have also save with us for sort of ethical reasons, because they know the money's going back into the community and being used to provide finance to those their neighbours who need it. They will save with us even though they might get a better rate at a bank.
Because it allows somebody to give back to the community, right? That's good. So here's a bit of a broader question. If you had a magic wand, one thing that you could change to make access to credit far better than it is now, what would you do?
I think that's a tough one. I think one of the things I'm pleased with is the sort of general direction is that the government is sort of looking to take some sort of action against sort of high cost lenders.
Yeah, agreed.
Lenders, loan sharks. It seems to be very slow in coming, but the Financial Conduct Authority just last week announced plans to sort of do that and put those out to consultation. And I think anything that cracks down on that sort of industry is good, because it can sound very attractive, and they have large marketing budgets, larger than we have, and that makes having a loan sound easy.
Yeah.
And it's not always the answer. It's not a good solution, and it's not a long-term solution, and it can sort of trap people into sort of ever increasing.
I think you're absolutely right. Let's just make sure that we've got caps in play. We have transparency, and so people understand exactly what they're getting into. And certainly, even though the FCA gets loads of stick, they are quite slow moving at times. To be fair. They are heading in the right direction. I mean, certainly in our world, the work that they've done to try and educate people on scams is pretty decent. Still loads of work to be done, but certainly helping people understand the longer term implications of getting out of loan. So magic wand, you'd bring those laws in today, or what would you do?
I would, yes, and I'd also like to increase awareness on what we do, or other organisations that help people. Credit unions are not the only organisations trying to do work around this issue. The sort of debt advice agencies and financial advice, planning, budgeting, that type of thing. If people knew those resources were available, a lot of people come through our doors and open an account and are very grateful, and I think if only I'd known about this 5-10 years ago before I got into this.
And I suppose there is stuff going on the ground. I know that Newham do some work around having a money shop in Stratford, don't they? They've got
Newham operate as a scheme called Moneyworks.
Yeah.
So they provide advice, guidance, and help people make small purchases and take small loans. And Newham underwrite the loans, but we provide the loans, so we work in partnership.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Yeah, and a lot of that, I suppose, is just to get rid of those obligations they've got under payday loans, isn't it?
Yes, because those people that project supports would probably otherwise go to very high cost lenders. Newham has the highest rate of problem debt in the whole country.
Really?
Yeah.
And what second? Is it another London borough, or is it?
I can't remember, but I think Tower Hamlets was
not a million miles away.
5.
Yeah. And what's your greatest frustration? Is it about the lack of promotion that credit unions get, or is it something else?
It probably is, partly because that's my role.
Yeah, your job is to go out and talk about it, right? Yeah.
I sometimes struggle to sort of compete, and as much as we can do in getting the word out and letting people know what we do, we can't quite compete with those sort of
big marketing budgets.
Yeah.
Is the answer to reduce their marketing budget or increase yours? Charlotte, did you have any questions about credit unions? Any questions about Kuldip, about the work he does?
No, I think you guys pretty much summed it up.
Did we? Okay, cool. So, you've listened to the podcast Kuldip. You know that we typically ask people the question that we ask our listeners every week, which ranges from the meaningful to the bizarre to the fun. So we've got a range of questions of the podcast. If I can find the file somewhere, I know it's around here somewhere, to ask you. So are you ready for some questions of the podcast? Let's start with the philosophical one. Are most people generally good?
Yes.
Okay. That's what you get when you ask a closed question, Charlotte. Why? Why do you say that?
Because everybody's nice to pets and their family and their neighbours.
Okay.
And I think it's the pressure of life and circumstances that make people not so nice sometimes. But I think even people who you wouldn't say are nice have someone, hopefully,
That thinks they're nice.
Yeah, okay. So, if you could be a character in one of your favourite books, who would it be?
Oh.
Ooh, we put you on the spot here.
Do you want to come back to that one?
I'll come come back to that.
Okay. Best use of an egg. Is it omelette, boiled, or cabbage creamed?
French toast.
Oh, French. We haven't had French toast before, have we?
I think we had one French toast.
The one we've had that's most popular. Go on, tell us about French toast.
French toast.
Last year I've actually learned to poach an egg.
Well, the most popular answer we've had is poached egg on sourdough toast. Apparently, I've not tried it, but apparently that's really good.
Runny yolk about 50% of the time.
I tell you what,
50%.
Good odds. We need to ask more egg questions because honestly, every time we talk about eggs, people
every time
people
we
love
talk
it.
about food, it just blows up.
What's the most inspiring movie you've ever seen?
I love Land and Freedom.
I haven't seen that. What's that about?
No, neither.
It's a Ken Loach film set in 1930s Spain in the Spanish Civil War.
Okay. And what do you like about it?
I love the realism, but it's centred around a character who reads about what's going on in Spain, the political situation, sort of the emergence of fascism, and he wants to do something about it. So he's a young single lad, so he just packs his bags and goes out to Spain to try and
fight for freedom. Yeah, really interesting. If you became supreme ruler of the world, what one thing would you change with a magic wand? We like these sort of magic wand questions. What would you change?
I would start by introducing a 3-day weekend.
Sounds good.
Going down to a 2-day working week.
Yeah.
I would invest in artificial intelligence and robots and put them to work instead of people.
How are people going to make money then?
We're going to share the wealth the robots create.
Okay, so we're moving to a more socialist, fair, equal society.
Yeah,
Okay.
With robots.
Reduce the working day.
Yeah. So I'm excited about the opportunities AI gives.
Yes.
I think AI will change the way we work, certainly in the next couple of years. Even driverless cars I like.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So what do you think, Charlotte? What do you think about AI changing our world and how it's going to happen?
I think AI is going to change our world. Not in the way that everyone goes, oh, they're going to take over. They're not going to take over. We're going to program them to be our friends.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds so corny and cheesy when I say it out loud, but it sounded right in my head.
Okay, so the AI is going to be our friends, and what jobs do you reckon are going to be left once AI comes in and gets rid of the majority of the tasks?
Communication.
Okay.
Like, you know those, what are those people called? And they sit on the phone and they talk to people about customer service. Those people. And like journalism and stuff and writing, because obviously you can't program them.
I tell you what though, there was a Google I'll put a link on the show notes, but Google have released this incredible, was it Google? Yeah, I think it was. This incredible video of the Google Assistant verbally booking a meeting and a restaurant reservation, and the AI understood nuance, understood when somebody was pausing. It got quite complicated. Have you seen that video?
I haven't seen the video.
I'll get you a link sent over.
I do have a Google Mini I enjoy playing with.
Yeah. But yeah, it's incredible that it's like Google booked me an appointment for 3 o'clock at this restaurant, and literally it went away, did it, came back, and it was all done, and managed to cope with the restaurant not being as straightforward, because humans aren't they? Humans are messy, so how do you do that? But I think artificial intelligence is a good thing. Charlotte, would you like to ask a question?
Yes, I'm scrolling.
Go on then.
No, what am I looking at?
I'll ask another one while Charlotte's picking one. What's the best Muppet?
I never liked the Muppets.
Oh, sacrilege!
My heart's burning.
Oh no, but this is never going out now. I'm just so offended. So
I never understood the Muppets or Sesame Street.
Never been into Jim Fraggle Rock. You must have. No. No. What was your child? Morph. So Tony Hart, that sort of thing.
I have one.
Oh, go on then. What question are you going to ask? Are we swiftly moving away from that Muppet conversation?
Yeah, I'm trying not to think about it.
Just to save Kuldip's dignity. Are you allowed to disagree? Go on.
I'm going to pick the one that's inspired by me.
Go on then.
If you had your own gang, what would you call it? A gang.
We had a gang at school, and we were called Rainbow Raiders.
Rainbow Raiders. Why are the Rainbow Raiders?
Because our teacher was Miss Rainbow, and at the time we'd all got into American football, and Los Angeles Raiders were the
Gotcha.
biggest team around.
Are you still into American football?
No, not at all.
I once met years ago at Crystal Palace the Fridge. Do you remember?
Yes.
Do you remember in the 80s there was I think
Chicago.
it was Chicago Bears. Yeah. So and I've never been into it massively. I do one thing every year where I try and stay awake for the Super Bowl and then always fall asleep sort of 10 minutes in. But yeah, I think he was called Reg Perry if I remember rightly, and he was huge. He was massive. Take it away.
What's your favourite biscuit?
I usually like the cheaper biscuits. It's not
Yes.
I like custard creams and bourbons.
Oh,
Sounds
yes.
Good. Sounds good. A very fine choice. And we'll do two more. Charlotte's going to pick one and I'll pick one, so I'll pick my one first. What's your favourite work of art?
I quite like abstract art. Have you heard of Mark Rothko?
No.
He's an American abstract painter.
Okay.
Around sort of in the first part of the century, mid-century.
Yeah.
And just in big colours.
Yeah.
Big blocks.
Big bold.
Yeah. I actually went to see a play about him. It's showing in the West End at the moment, which is very interesting.
Called what?
Rothko?
Okay. I probably made that more complicated than it needs to be.
Okay.
I can't remember who your favourite artist was, Charlotte. Who did you choose?
Me neither.
Yeah, Van Gogh for me, definitely. And I got the chance to see Starry Night. It's in New York. It's in the MoMA in New York. And I told this story in the podcast. I got in a lot of trouble because I got too close to it and got told to move away quite quickly.
Set all the alarms off.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. You ready for this?
Are you going to do? I thought you were going to do a drum roll there for the last question.
What is your favourite viral video?
Oh.
I was expecting this.
You know, I probably don't have a favourite, but I'm going through a phase of watching lots of cute dog videos, and I keep sending them to my wife, and I'm not really a dog person.
Gotcha. Have you got a dog?
No. Never owned a dog. I wouldn't really want a dog.
Yeah. The videos are enough though, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so adorable.
Yeah.
You get a dog and a cat together.
A dog and a cat.
I've recently found out I'm allergic to cats though,
So
as long as they're only...
Have you seen the videos of the cats jumping away from cucumbers?
The benefit of YouTube is you can watch how cute they are in the comfort of looking at your laptop and never have to sneeze at them.
I start saving videos in order to play them later.
Gotcha. We asked that question. I think the favourite one we said there was a couple of Great Showman ones there that seems to be incredibly popular at the minute.
Yes.
But the one that made us laugh loads is just a cow in a car. They'd managed to squeeze this massive cow into a little Eastern European Trabant style car, and it just made us chuckle, didn't it? It
Or
was
the
really
one with
funny.
the Spider-Man dancing.
So we did say that was the last question, but I'm going to ask an extra one that's not a question of the podcast yet.
Ooh.
And one that you mentioned. What's the best play or musical show live you've ever seen?
That's interesting. I like I'm not a big fan of musicals, but I do love Les Mis.
Okay.
The musical. I love the music in it and the drama.
Okay.
It's a bit overlong, but...
Okay. What's yours, Charlotte?
You can't ask me.
There's only one, isn't there? Hamilton, surely.
Oh no, you can't ask me what my favourite musical is.
Oh, right, okay. You got too many.
Too many.
Have you seen many plays?
No.
We've seen a couple of Shakespeare's, haven't we?
We've seen a couple of Shakespeare's. Modernisation of Shakespeare was the same language, except people are talking on phones and taking pictures and sending Snapchats to their friends.
Yeah, it's all good.
How that works.
So, help us understand if people have listened to this and thought, you know what, even though we don't like the Muppets, which we won't hold him against too much, Kuldip seems like a really nice guy. We're all allowed our little quirks every now and again. I really want to understand a little bit more about credit unions. Where can they get some really good information, including your London Credit Union?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the Find Your Credit Union website is a great place to start if you want to find out which credit union operates in your area.
Okay.
Or, if maybe your employer is part of one that you're not aware of. We have a website which is londoncu.com.
Okay.
And you can find out about all the information we provide. Because it's not just savings and loans, we do current accounts as well. We're launching a new debit card this year. And you can follow us on Twitter or on Facebook. Our Twitter handles LCCU2000.
Okay.
2000 was the
I'm not the only one who's bad at Twitter handles.
Charlotte always forgets what our Twitter handle is, don't you?
No, I just forget the email.
Yeah.
And
And
Twitter handle
what
Facebook.
we'll do as well is we'll put all of the social media links, all of the websites, everything that you think we should share with our audience, all on the show notes for this episode. So we'll make sure that gets shared around. Anything you want to add before we finish?
No, thank you for inviting me.
No, loved it. It's been great fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was a really amazing interview. What did you think of that?
It was great.
That's Charlotte pretending she heard the interview. Did you see that? Let's do the end of the show. The coffee's back.
Tis the end.
You know what? You know we were talking about the merch store earlier. So www.thekindnessproject.co.uk/merch, MERCH. But I'm thinking about dropping the H, so it's like Ola. So it might be.
No,
what?
That is how it is pronounced.
What do you mean?
That is how.
Hola. If you were in Spain, you would pronounce hello, hola. How would you do it?
You say hola.
Right, you wouldn't hola. Anyway, merch /MERCH. You can get all of your t-shirts, all of your pants, all of your bras. I don't know what else we're selling on the merch store this week, but certainly you can buy your Kindness Project merch on there.
Yes.
Okay. But the end of the show is never the end, is it?
Never the end.
It is the opportunity to answer.
This week's question of the podcast, last week, I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm waving my arms around like a crazy person.
Okay, so we're doing last week's question of the podcast, and we had loads of answers to the question. If you could try out any job or occupation just for a day, which would you choose? And Charlotte, what would you choose again? You wasn't sure, were you?
Nah. I mean,
nah. So what would you just on your like off the top of your head, what would you choose to do today?
What would I choose to do today? I would choose to, I don't know, I'd like to see what it was like to work in an orphanage.
Would you?
Children happy.
Would you? Like in Annie? Would you be Miss Hannigan from Annie?
I'd be like the opposite of Miss Hannigan. I'd love all the children.
Miss Shenanigans.
And I'd feed them cheesecake.
You'd force feed children cheesecake. Why is that?
No. I'd give them cheesecake unless they were allergic to it.
Right.
And then I'd give them something they prefer, like donuts.
Right, you'd force feed children cheesecake and donuts. Is that what you do?
I'd say there's cheesecake and donuts in the fridge.
You'd let children help themselves to cheesecake and donuts while you watched in disdain.
It's only one day.
I reckon they'd get a sugar overdose in that day particularly. Right, but we had some more sensible answers from our esteemed listeners. Firstly, and again, if you're on Facebook Live whilst we're doing this, as a few of you are, feel free to let us know if you could try out any job or occupation for the day, and you had all the skills to do it and all of the knowledge, what job would you choose?
I'd take over as president of America because then I could get Donald Trump.
Yeah, but I don't know if you'd be able to recover it within a day. I don't know if you'd be able to do that.
No, but at least I'd replace Donald Trump.
Anyway, Andrew Berwick said combat jet pilot. Alistair McCann said train driver, just so I could appreciate them more. Barry Harding said a paramedic because they're amazing at what they do. John Cook, friend of the show, said, I wish I was James Bond, just for the day. Kissing all the girls, blowing the bad guys away.
Perfect opportunity to put Scout for the Girls lyrics on.
Great tune. Catherine Morgan said a forensic scientist or the president.
Wait, what kind of forensic scientist are we talking about? We're talking about like a minor forensic scientist or like a pathologist?
See, I'm thinking CSI style forensic scientist, are you?
Like a pathologist, like
yeah.
examines the dead bodies, cuts them open with 3 marks, like...
Did you realise the theme of this podcast is kindness, and you talk about cutting people open quite a lot?
It's fun.
It's fun. It's fun. Clearly Catherine thinks it's fun because she'd want to do it. Lindsay Thompson said chocolate factory. Now, I'm not sure whether Lindsay wants to actually be a chocolate factory or... because that would be a weird job.
Look at my
yeah. I am a chocolate factory. Or she wants to be Willy Wonka. I wouldn't mind being Willy Wonka. I'd love my own team of Oompa Loompas. That's what I'd love.
I'd love to be an Oompa Loompa.
I think what Lindsay means is she'd like to work in a chocolate factory for a day. Hayley Ball said photographer, spending an entire day wandering around with my camera, taking pictures that interest me would be pretty cool. Astronaut said Rohan Sivajotti, and then Adam entered...
Wait, which astronaut wanted to be Rohan?
I did that the wrong way around. Buzz Aldrin phoned me up and said, I want to be Rohan. He's amazing. And Claire Walsh said, something to do with the delivery of babies, like a midwife. Not sure I could just pitch up for a day, which is why I said, assume that you've got the skills and knowledge, but bringing lives into the world must be one of the most amazing things you could do. I could do that.
As a farmer.
As a farmer.
Farmers do that.
Could do that. And Mark O'Halloran said, police have a lot of respect. He's got a lot of respect for their role in society, and it must be a very hard, difficult but rewarding job. And actually, I think there's a lot of value in all of those answers. What do you think, Charlotte?
I think that's...
What was your favourite of those answers?
Who was it who said they wanted to be a chocolate factory?
So you'd actually be a chocolate factory, would you? You wouldn't be somebody who worked in a chocolate factory. You'd just be a chocolate factory. Right. We did have some answers on Facebook as well, on LinkedIn as well. So let me share with those. Susie Monroe said should be a... Oh, hello, that's a bit close. Facebook Live. Right. Susie Monroe said she'd be a carpenter or cabinet maker, like making stuff with wood. I'd love to be more practical in my life. All I can do is speak and think, and I can't do those things particularly well.
Like the theme of your favourite song.
Yeah. What? Handyman Blues. Yeah. If you don't know what the Handyman Blues is, please, it's by Billy Bragg. It is an amazing... Do you want to hold that? It's an amazing... Facebook Live has just got a view of our ceiling.
It's a nice ceiling.
So Susie Monroe said, I'd be a carpenter or a cabinet maker. Anthony Rafferty said, a surgeon, if they let me try it out for a day. Probably you need a bit more experience to try it out for than a day, but certainly. Nina would be a doctor. Arpit would be a prime minister, not necessarily in Great Britain. Nicholas Burton had a good idea. He'd like to be head of pottering about. I didn't realise you could create your own jobs. What would you be head of?
Head of book testing.
Head of book testing.
Just sitting and read all
I'd
day.
be head of drinking gin and chatting nonsense. That would be my head of.
I'd be head of useless swivel.
What is useless swivel? I'd be.
Just talking nonsense.
Oh, right, okay. Drivel. Why did you call it swivel? Head of making up random words that mean nothing. Nujit Mia said she'd be a teacher, and Nadine Stevenson would be toy buyer, cupcake tester, queen, ambitious, captain of a cruise ship, endless possibilities. So she'd do any job. And Tracy, who's listening on Facebook Live, is just coming from Slimming World, which is really good to hear. So on that particular note, it is actually the end.
Yes, I know.
So for the head of swivel from the head of swivel to the head of gin and useless waffle, that's the end of another podcast. We'll see you next time.